Mr. Timangala here, the Reverend of the Revolution. Welcome to your Daily Revolution. Today's topic, coming out of the darkness of depression. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Man, it's been a minute since I've been on the podcast, and I will tell you why. But first, let me just give a big shout out to all those who follow, listen, the prayers, thoughts, messages. I really appreciate it. Having been 2 months now since I've torn my Achilles tendon and I've had surgery. So let me tell you why I've been gone. First of all, again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if you are listening to this podcast, there's a good chance you may be going through something very difficult. You may know someone who's going through something difficult. And when I say difficult, it's easy to put on the front, the facade. It's easy to pretend and posture. But then when all the lights are turned off and all the music is gone and everyone goes home, you are still left by yourself and you're left alone. And that's kind of how I felt. So let me take you back. On May 31st, Friday, I had an Achilles rupture trying to climb the warped wall at an American Ninja Warrior training park up in Salt Lake City, Utah. We were celebrating my son's birthday. Judah boy turned 7, and I'm the uncle who's got the muscles and I can run around, and all the kids are like, "Hey, Uncle, flex again." And so, of course, I'm doing all the obstacles, and I see the warped wall. I run up the 14-foot one. I missed the first attempt. Like, I barely missed it. I slip, and I'm like, I'm going to get it this one. I'm going to the top. I run up, and bam, snaps. And in the last 8 weeks, it has been, man, it's been challenging. And I say challenging. It's difficult to really encompass what challenging means. No, I left the podcast several weeks ago about this, but 8 weeks in, 60 days in really changes the game. And, I'm coming out of this very difficult, dark depression. What do I mean by that? It's been hard. Like, real talk, it has been challenging more than anything mentally. Like, I'm not on a street living in a cardboard box. I'm not getting kicked out of my home. My wife and kids did not leave me. So life is really, really good. Look, I'm laying on my couch with my foot elevated. After this podcast, I'm going to actually get to the gym and get a workout in, right? Start my day, and we've got a lot of amazing things coming up. We got immersion this next week with Man. We have an immersion lineup in September. We've got our certified trainer in October. We've got our VIP 50 in Dallas, and later October, I'll be on a big stage the business is moving, right? Got some big stages I'm speaking on across the country, sharing the stage with some big name speakers. And so I want to just create context. I'm so blessed. But it doesn't mean you don't go through these difficult, depressing times. And it's been difficult for me. Why has it been difficult? Well, when you go from working out 6 days a week, running 5, 10, 15 miles a week, to not doing anything, and especially during the summertime, right? I hurt my Achilles May 31st. Man, it's been hard. And the last 4 weeks in particular, right, it's been so challenging because mentally I started making up a story. I started to buy into man, I'm getting fat, which I am. I'm a bit fat right now. It's okay. I'll get it back. I'm soft. I haven't worked out in 8 weeks. I've been eating donuts and French toast and pancakes and tacos and cheese and nachos and Doritos. And by the way, the cool thing is my sons have been making me breakfast. They've been making me delicious egg sandwiches, ham and cheese sandwiches. They've been making me chicken and rice. And, of course, my beautiful goddess, she's been cooking like crazy for me. So, again, I don't want anyone to think that, life is horrible for me. But it's still challenging. It's been challenging for me. This morning as I'm laying on my couch, I'm filled with gratitude. But, when you're in the darkness, when you're in the depression, when you're in the dip, as Seth Godin calls it, when you're in this deep chasm, there's nothing that really helps. As I look back, there was nothing that helped. I prayed, I read scriptures, I read books, I listened to podcasts. I watched 3 seasons of a series on Netflix that I just binge watched. It was very difficult to work, and thank goodness for my team, right? Coach Nate, my brother Nick, Jake and Jake, Ryan and Gary, and Evan, who does my podcast. Like, so grateful for my team and, of course, my wife and my sons. Now, why am I sharing this with you? When you go through tough times, and I mean tough, challenges you to the core. When you go through those things, sometimes there is nothing that's going to help you except your willingness to keep going. That's it. I've sat in church. I've been angry at the world. I also see why folks who are handicapped, disabled, not all, I don't want to say all, but I can see and have an understanding why it's so hard. Because I've been edgy. I've been impatient. I've been upset. I've got to go up and downstairs. I do I brush my teeth and shave downstairs. I go upstairs to take a bath because I haven't been able to get my foot wet. I mean, these things are nothing, but they're big. Again, beautiful home, beautiful area, incredible people, incredible church members visiting and reaching out my wife and my sons, and yet it's been hard. So I'm sharing this with you because if you're going through a tough time, on the outside, things look good, but on the inside, you're struggling, depressed. I'll tell you straight up, it has been so challenging for me. I thought this would never end. I'm like, I'm going to lose my business. I can't inspire anyone. I don't motivate anyone. It's been hard to post on social media because I post with my heart. I don't post like all this content that just some content manager. Like, I still run my social media accounts. And I haven't wanted to post anything because I've been disheartened. I've been sad. So I'm sharing this with you because if you're going through the darkness of depression, and again, it could be a number of things. My Achilles tear, I'm going to come out of this. It'll take me another 10 months, at least, to get to full speed. But that doesn't mean that it's just easy. And I know I'll come out of this, but I know some of you right now listening to the podcast, you're going through tough times. Maybe you have a child you just love so much, and they're making poor choices that harm them and hurt you. Maybe you're someone who was in a marriage for a long time and your spouse has left, and you can't figure out why, and you're like, why? Why would he or she do this to us? What did I do to deserve this? And maybe you've lost a loved one. I can't even fathom that. I can't even fathom how difficult that must be to lose someone. When you go through these challenging times, perhaps even a financial blip on the radar or financial turmoil, whatever this may be for you, my invitation for you is to keep going. Don't stop. You gotta keep going. Some of the greatest lessons will only ever be seen from hindsight, looking back, which means you gotta keep going. I think back to so many times in my life where I wanted to quit. I was going into my senior year. It was the spring of my junior year, so I had surgery. I had one more season. I had a fantastic junior season at BYU. It was actually the spring of 2000, and I wanted to quit. I wanted to take a year off. I was so depressed because I had shoulder surgery, something similar. I couldn't practice. All the guys were getting reps up. Everyone was talking about how Ryan Danny and Brett Kiesel, they stud, great teammates, good dudes. We're having a great spring, and I just felt like I was missing out. And I was making up all these stories, right? They were all made up. You got to understand, we make up our own stories. I was making this up. But I came back, had a great senior year, again, led to the Patriots, led to a lot of blessings in my life. So I felt that in the last 2 months, can I ever get out of this? And I wanted to share just one thing that has really been an anchor, a powerful anchor for me. And that's faith in God. I know, right? Business podcasts, people don't want to talk about God. They want to talk all these great principles and how great they are and mindset. These are all great. Mindset 100%. But the thing that has helped me tremendously is to be humble and to remember that there's a God who knows me. And there's a God who's watching over me. And while I don't believe that he's like, I'm going to cause September to have a torn Achilles. Like, I did that. I did the Achilles. I decided to go run and jump and play American Ninja Warrior, Samoan Ninja Warrior. And I do believe that God is well aware of who we are and where we are. And he can consecrate and make our challenges and our tragedies and help us turn them into triumphs. So keep going. I've had some incredible spiritual experiences in the last 8 weeks, and I've been humbled. And I've had to be humble. I've had to slow down. I've had to depend on my wife and my sons who do everything for me. And it's not easy, right? I'm like, son, go get my razor. Son, can you get this? Can you get my backpack? Son, go get my boot. Can you bring me my clothes? Son, and I'll call them up. I'm like, son, come help daddy. And they all know they get my clothes, they get my towel. Like, what do you need, Dad? And they've been so patient, and I'm so grateful. So while there's a lot of challenges that I face, and it's been dark, it has been. Like, I'll be real, man, it's been hard. If you look at any of my social media posts, you're like, man, what's September going through? If no one knew that I had an Achilles tear, if you're really looking, you'd be like, something's off. September's not himself. I'm not. I haven't been. But I promise you, keep going. This too shall pass, and it's going to pass. So if it's going to pass, then you've got to decide how you want to pass through it. Bitter or better? Angry or humble? And I promise you, if you're going through something tough right now, keep going. One day you will look back and be thankful you did not quit. One day you will look back and say, yes, I went through it. Yes, I endured it well. Yes, I will be able to help someone else who goes through this. And sometimes that's just what we got to do. Our personal triumph is going to be a blueprint for someone else. And you've got to be that person who makes it through the divorce, the financial Armageddon, the injury, the surgery, the mental collapse. Like, you've got to create that so you can turn around, look back, acknowledge God, acknowledge yourself and your faith, be an example and a light for others. It's good to be back in the podcast mode. I'm feeling much better. Like, this was the first week that I woke up and I'm like, emotionally, I feel good because it's been hard, sitting down for 8 weeks, not being able to be you, not being able to work out. My mind has been cluttered. I've felt sorry for myself. It's been a tough 8 weeks. So the journey continues. I'm so grateful. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to be able to be here where I'm moving my foot. I got an incredible physical therapist, my team. I'm grateful for them. And I promise you, we are going to get back on top and rise to the top. And we're going to be that organization that helps to unleash human potential and to maximize human performance so that people can live the greatest lives as husbands, fathers, mothers, wives, children, teammates, players, students, entrepreneurs, employees, whatever you are in life, wherever you are. My mission is to help you to unleash your total human potential and to maximize that production. Love you guys. Have an amazing day, and it's good to be back on the podcast. If this message resonates with you, drop a comment, share it, subscribe. Again, there's multiple ways you can listen to the podcast, and I'm so grateful for you, my friends. I'm looking forward to being back in action. Let's go. For more info on joining the revolution and living your greatest life of prosperity today, go to www.yourdailyrevolution.com and join us in waking up, turning your brain on, and prospering today.